to our AI Analyst demonstration by Streamline Partners. We're going to be talking today about how AI Analyst works with and enhances the ForMe platform and really kind of latches onto that collaboration concept between the ForMe specialist and the AI, giving some great efficiencies at the service desk and beyond into kind of level 2 and level 3 teams. We're starting our journey today at the service desk screen, and we've got Tom Waters, who's having an issue with a blue screen with his laptop. So he's picked up the phone and he's called the service desk, and I'm Howard Tanner. And Tom, we're just bringing his details up here. And he's got an issue with his laptop. So I'm actually going to, or his workstation, I should say. So I'm just going to click on his workstation here. And there's nothing there specifically. So I'm just going to pop in none of the above and raise a standard ticket. So blue screen on laptop. Getting a blue screen on my laptop. Okay, so we'll pop an impact. We'll keep it really straightforward. And that's taken me about a minute. So I'm going to save that. Now, what's going on here at the moment is the AI analyst is starting to collaborate with Howard, and he's going to go and, or it's going to go and grab the appropriate response that Howard can use to go back to Tom. So in a second, what we'll see is the AI analyst interacting with the screen and providing a response. There we go. All right. So what we've got here is a fantastically formulated response from the AI that is actually written a lot better than what our analysts write. So you can see here, it's, I'm sorry to hear that you're experiencing a blue screen. So it's showing a lot of empathy and really being prepared to respond like a proper service desk analyst. So I'm actually going to go and jump into this ticket, and I'm going to pass this information back to Tom. So because it's such a great response, I don't even need to change it. I'm just going to tag Tom in the ticket and send him that information straight away. Oops, and that's taken me 1 minute. We're showing efficiencies there already, aren't we? So, okay, so that's gone back to Tom. I'm going to jump across now into the portal and be Tom and just see this ticket that's going on. We can see that ticket's been logged. I'm going to jump in and have a look at it. Okay, so we see we've got the response from Howard. I'm going to add a note from Tom saying, have we recently installed any new software or hardware? Oh, well, actually, I did. I put some new memory in before this. That might be it. So let me ask. Oops. I've recently added a new stick of memory. Could that be the issue? Save that. And we're going to jump back into our, oops, wrong screen. We're going to jump back into our service desk screen. And I'm still in here in the ticket with Howard. I can see ForMe's immediate collaboration interface here. It's just so good. The information comes back straight away. I don't need to refresh. And we've got Tom's response. So we're going to go away from the first use case, providing a suggested response, to a collaborative use case, which is use case number 2, and getting the AI to collaborate with, collaborate with and work on this ticket. So we're going to use an internal note, and we're going to mention the AI and say, can you help me with the customer's question? Okay, there's a couple of things going on, and that took me a minute, didn't it? Not even a minute. If we could put in 30 seconds, we probably would. So there's a couple of things going on there, right? So you have the AI understanding the context of who is the customer. I didn't have to say Howard. I didn't have to tag in Howard. I can just be very matter of fact and talk to the AI like I'm talking to my buddy sitting next to me. So we're seeing that understanding of context within the ticket be really specific. So the AI is going to come back shortly and give what it thinks is going to be the outcome required for Tom as a next step. So we've got the AI analysis response, and what it's saying here is based on the information provided. So now we're talking to Howard. It's not talking to the customer anymore. It's talking to Howard specifically. So it's tagged Howard and said, based on the customer's response, it could actually be the memory stick that's the problem, right? So just removing the, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this bit of information and send that to the customer and say, hey Tom, can you try removing the memory stick and see what happens, right? So that's some pretty good outcomes in text. I'm not really having to do a whole lot of thinking and make decisions on this ticket, which is actually pretty good when you've got a lot of tickets to deal with and manage. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the customer view. And let's just pause for a second. I'll just refresh that screen. Excellent, we've got that. And Tom's going to say, well, actually, you know what? I removed the memory stick and actually it's fine. So, or maybe I replaced it with a better one. So I've replaced the memory stick with a different one, and now it's all working well. Thank you. This is resolved. Brilliant. Okay, so customer's happy. He's now moved on and no longer in this particular issue. But we've got some more things to do here. So we've got some more use cases to kind of work through. What I'm going to do is a couple of things, and I've probably done this a little bit backwards, but to start with, I'm actually going to transfer the ticket to someone else to confirm what's going on. So I am going to edit the ticket and see if my I'm going to pop it back into service desk actually. I'm going to edit the ticket and I'm going to put it to Susan. And I'm actually going to say to Susan, can you have a look to see if my suggestions were worthy of a knowledge article? Okay, so we're passing it up to Susan just to do a double check, right? But what I want to demonstrate here is the fact that the AI analyst actually will do a summary for Susan on transfer. So it's going off, it's ingesting all the information in the ticket, it's summarizing it particularly well, and it's one of the things that these generative AI models do incredibly powerfully, way better than a human could. And then any second now, we'll have a nice little summary coming across, which is down there already, so we can see the customer reported an issue experiencing a blue screen. Analyst asked for more details. Analyst suggested removing the new stick to see if the issue persisted, and if it did, exploring other solutions. Customer followed the suggestion, replace the stick with a different one, and resolve the issue. And then we've got reviewing the suggestions for a knowledge article. So that's excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do now is actually say, well, let's create a knowledge article. So in here, we're going to pop in another internal note. And when talking to the AI analyst, you've always got to use the internal notes because you don't necessarily want the customer to see it. I'm going to pop an internal note, and we're going to say, can you create a knowledge article, please? You've always got to be nice to the robots. Yep, I know. A minute. Okay, so now we've got this fantastic set of information. What's actually going to happen is we're going to go away and create a knowledge article. And it's going to leverage all of the data that's been on the tickets to date and create a nice little succinct knowledge article within the platform. So let's wait for that to come through. Knowledge can take a little bit longer to process all of this because we've got multiple different GPT models working or GPT instances working with each other to be able to produce the amount of text required. And there we go. So it's come through. It's created that. Thanks, Howard. I've created you a knowledge article for troubleshooting blue screens on a laptop. Let's just have a quick look at that. We'll open the detail. And look at that. Great knowledge article. It's not validated. It's created by an AI analyst. It's popped it in the right service, and it's attached it to the right knowledge manager. That's pretty impressive. So we've got the knowledge article, but what I also want to do now is just demonstrate the final use case that we have, which is, in fact, it's the penultimate use case. We've got two more, which is the follow-up of the ticket. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask the ticket here. I'm going to ask the customer and say, hey, Tom, just want to check in and see if everything is still okay now that you've replaced the memory. Right. Probably not the normal sequence of events, but just for the purposes of showing our use case. This use case is about what we call autonomous follow-up. So we're going to pop the ticket on to waiting for customer, okay? And we've put our little note in here, and it's now waiting for customer, okay? Now, the autonomous follow-up does a similar thing to our ticket summary on transfer, but it takes a nice little summary and it prepares an email or a note and sends it out to the customer saying, hey, we've been waiting for you for X days, and that's configurable based on the individual implementation and the needs of the customer. But we've been waiting for you for a while. You haven't come back to us. How about telling us whether this is still a problem or not? Right? And it does it, I think you'll agree in a minute, it does it in a really, really smart kind of way. We've got it set to a minute to do that. So here it's come through. Hope this message finds you well. Again, really interactive kind of language. It writes, honestly, better than I do. Reaching out on behalf of the support desk who's asking to see whether the issue you're experiencing with a laptop. And what's really interesting about this is it's actually now coming on behalf of the AI, right? So we can see it's coming from the AI and it's talking directly to the customer, which we haven't been doing that before. But because we're so confident it's using just the information in the ticket in this instance, and its language model, we can make sure that we can allow it to interact directly with the customer, right? So it said, hey, is this still a problem or not? Well, let's just go in and just go in with Tom. Oops, we can refresh that, and we've got that and say, thanks for checking in, Howard. This is still working great. You can close this out. Brilliant. Okay. So jumping back in to our ticket, we can see Tom's response. Brilliant. So I'm now going to do the final use case, which is the resolution notes use case. And what this does is it creates a lovely little summary of what's going on in the ticket at the end when we're resolving it. And that's triggered by actually putting the ticket into a completed status. We're going to say it's solved. And I'm just going to put in here, confirmed, resolved by Tom. Anytime a human works on it, they get mistakes. Right. So now where ticket's resolved, the status is completed, and what's happening is the AI is going to go and summarize the ticket and create a lovely little set of resolution notes. So the last note on the ticket is actually a summarized view of everything that's happened and what we did to resolve it. So that way you can report on it better, and it's closed off the ticket really nicely. So we can go into the bottom now and have a look and say, hey, here's the resolution summary. Isn't that fantastic? Thank you very much, everyone. Great talking to you today, and I hope you appreciated the demonstration.